Ooh, yes, I'm just building the air up, leveling this thing off. Just want to get things sorted, making sure that everything's all synced up so that we can get on our way. What do you reckon? You think so? Try it anyway, can't we? Anyway. I don't know how long my battery's going to last on my voice recorder, mind you. Put that crap off. I've got to clip the curtains up. Yeah. Right, still recording? Yeah, but the battery's running down low. Fuck. Never mind. Try that bit a bit. It seems to be a bit loud. Not with me though. Whatever. The air's built up now, so we're alright. Just got to sync these back up again. I did turn them off. I turned you off to preserve the battery. So hopefully, me yapping like this, you can actually, yeah, I know. This is all for my benefit. But this one I had to alter, so I've got to make sure it's at the right angle. Noisy bugger. If it isn't at the right angle, well then it's not going to work right, is it? So it should be though. It doesn't look far enough, does it? It's alright, because yeah, I think we'll be alright at that. Fucking hell, look at him banging away. Right, I'm going to have to fasten these up to give me a good indication of how much battery power I've got left in my thing. It won't take too long. Once we're done, we can go and get gone. I've got to phone up and let them know I'm on my way. It's a fucking noisy thing, that, isn't it? Good grief. I think he's trying to free some of the grain that's still stuck in his tank. And this particular load I've got in here, it is strapped to the hilt. So there's now come back on me. There's no real need for it, but unfortunately I live in a world where we have to accommodate the stupid. Unfortunately. Right. Battery power, still doing alright. Still doing alright. No, the air pressure's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that you're shit. Right. How long have I been here? Is that all? What time is it now then? Hey, what is Jay's? No, fucking hell. What is it? With it 2:45 coming out now. I don't know, 7:30, something like that maybe. Oh my, is it taking more of that crap up? Okay, I'll go a bit earlier though, because finishing this late's a bit naff, so I'll come a bit earlier. Oh, okay, no problem. See you later. Ta. Well, how about that? I don't need any of that crap, so I'll put that down there for now. Are we all hunky-dory, ready to go, ready to rock and roll? Why is that blaring right up the air like that? Hang on. Seems really loud. Must be picking up the ambient noises or something. I just hope we didn't do that. There's nothing worse than that. Oh no, off we go. Righto, off we go. Poet, I don't know it. Oh, well there you are then. Out, off and away we go. Well apparently I am, woo, steady on people. I have no idea what that was all about. Can't really go anywhere yet until these lot move at the road. Apparently I'm doing exactly the same again tomorrow. Ugh. Exactly the same. Yes, exactly the same. But this time I don't want to be hanging a fagging round. So when I get there I'm going to say, look, can you get this stuff off so I can get done, because I didn't finish till... I will make a little bit of a white lie. Well, it'll be more of an exaggeration, right? Because by the time I get back, it's going to be knocking on towards 8 o'clock tonight, and I'm not impressed with that sort of shit. So, because that's just fucks your day up, then, doesn't it? You get home and that's it. Then it's fucking bedtime. It's no good to anybody. Off we go, off we go. And it depends on whether I mean, the backload might not be the same, that might be completely different. But it all depends, I don't know. But if the backload is the same, then I'll know where to go, won't I, this time? Yeah. Don't get making the same mistake twice, that's what I say. Hopefully I won't. You know what I mean? Oh, I am so warm. I had a lovely shower as well this morning. Woke me up. Oh, nice. I was actually in two minds not to bother because I was tired. But I thought, now I've got time, fuck it, let's have a shower. There's no excuse, you stinky fucker. Oh. So now we are traversing down the 614. Oh, and just in case you haven't realised, this is part 2 of the video that you just watched. You know what I mean? I wasn't sure whether I'd be able to do it or not, but here we are. Nonetheless, on the way. Oh. Cooling down now. Might have a bit of a blow through in a bit. Just going to chill out and just hope, because here's the thing, the last time I came up this way with the cameras on, which was quite a while ago, there was roadworks and it really fucked the video up. So I'm hoping all that shit's said and done and we should be alright. We might have a clear run through with a bit of luck. Obviously we're going to end up with the odd tractor here and there, so there is always that we're going to have to deal with. But that's a given, considering this is the rural area, you know what I mean? This is farmer territory. So you have to deal with those things. I don't know what he's doing, but he keeps opening and closing his door for some reason. I don't know what he's fucking about with. I don't know if you can see that, but the driver that's in front, I can see him because he's in my line of sight. But he keeps opening his door for some reason. I don't know why. Unless he's pissing about with these pair, I don't know. I don't know. It just seems rather odd. I've tried to clean this steering wheel off, but it still keeps bitting in my hands. It's fucking horrible, it is. Absolutely horrible. Just, you move your hand across and it just comes up with black bits all, and it drops all over your clothes and everywhere. It's all over the fucking controls. It's nasty. It's fucking horrible. The dirt must be so embedded in it, it's untrue. There's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. Come on then, off we go. Let's go and catch up with Mr. Tractor. I wonder what kind of things we'll see on the way down here. Anything interesting? Will we be lucky enough to see any military stuff? Maybe. There's a possibility they do drive up and down here now and again. So there's always that. What else? Could we come across some flying saucer? Well, you never know. There's a possibility. See, anything is possible. Anything. It really is. But hopefully we'll have a nice pleasant drive and there'll be no hassles and no issues. And I've got to open that again because I am getting warm. Oh, he smells nice. Ah, that's why. It's a big trailer full of manure, by the looks of it anyway. Or possibly peat. I don't know. Or a mixture of both. I don't know what I ain't sure. Fertiliser of some description. How about that? That'll do, won't it? Never bothered me, that smell down for some reason. I think. I don't know what it is, but there's always that. There's a funny. There's a sweetness to it. Whether that's supposed to be, I don't know, but you can smell it in the air. I don't know what it is. I'd love to know what it was, but maybe I'm strange. I don't know. It's definitely a very well recognised smell, that's for sure. It doesn't smell as bad as the intestine vat in the slaughterhouse I used to work. Well, didn't work. Played, should I say, if that's a way to yeah. Now that was a smell. That's quite pungent. When that first hits your nostrils, when you've never smelt anything like that before, it does make you, it's like, ooh. And you tend to like breathe really slowly, like, it's like, but then you just take a notice and you get on with it. I would overtake him, Mr. Tractor, but unfortunately I'm too heavy and I can't accelerate quick enough, so you keep going as you are. Will do. But if you do find somewhere to pull in, I would be most appreciative. I fucking hope it's still on there. I think it is. I think it's camouflaged in the old. What's it? It's alright. The camera just seems. Ah, there it is. I can see it. I can see it. I hate that, I do. The camera just seems to vanish. It's like he's one that most lorry drivers will probably know, and the drivers that actually pull this crap. Potatoes, right? Rotten. I don't think there's anything that can compare to rotten potatoes. Now that is eye-wateringly smelly. Fuck, that's horrible. That stuff. I don't know what the fuck that makes that so bad, but oof. Yeah. I suppose realistically, right, not that I have ever had the experience, but I can imagine a corpse smelling that bad. In saying that though, a dead cat did smell quite bad when I was younger. Especially when my dad was digging in the garden once and he put his forks through the carcass because it had been buried by somebody a while ago. And put his fork straight through it, and fuck me, that released some nasty odours, that did. I don't know why this conversation has gone down this path, I don't know. But hey, let's just go with it, shall we? Let's just ride the wave. I wish he wouldn't keep doing that though, he's stupid. Kicking up that dust. Ah! Here he is. See? How long was he? There he's off. And there we can go. Stick it in there. Come on, you fucking thing. Manual! You keep changing too early. You need a bit of oomph to drag this monstrosity up the hill. Instead of going... What happens. That's my impression of what this truck would be if it was a representation by cars. Ooh. Oh, fucking hell. Here we go. Open road, stretch it away. Wind the window back up again. I think I'm going to put these on now. It's that funny kind of light that makes my eyes sting. That'll do. Nice, steady, taking in the scenery. Not that I can see much of it with the shit state of this fucking windscreen is awful. Watch the wipers though. And the spray, it just I don't know what it is. It just takes ages for shit to kind of. The passenger one don't really want to work at all. It's crap. But I've got screen washing there, so I don't know why it ain't working. Just makes that side look fucking right mess. This side ain't too bad though. And that one there is useless. Don't do shit, that does it? Maybe if I fling it over towards that side. Do you reckon? That'll work. Yeah, I'm going around the bend. Maybe it'll send it around that way, because I'm going that way. Oh. No, it's chucking the wiper blade off. Yeah. I think they'll have to be what's the name, unblocked. Get ready for the 30-mile-an-hour zone. 30 miles an hour coming up. That's bad, that, isn't it? Hey, how the fuck did I know that? This is a nice little village as well. It's one of those ones again that you know it is a shame that this type of vehicle has to bound its way through it, but hey ho, at least it gives us something to look at, doesn't it? It's been a while. Still looks the same though. Don't think much has changed. There's bound to be another video somewhere in my archive in the realms of Driffield until the batteries go flat or something stupid like that I might have done before now. So, and you can always do a comparison, can't you? See what's what, if anything has changed or not. I haven't noticed anything changed anyway. Not yet. So, stone chips, 20 miles an hour. That looks like it's been finished. A long, long time ago. I just couldn't be bothered to shift the speed limit sign thingamajiggy, what's it? Maybe that's what they were doing. Getting ready to put all this crap down when I was here the last. A long time, eh? Anyway, when I mentioned on the other video, the one previous, about the old Barnsley UFO, I'm always sceptical. I'm going to be one of these people that are like, well, if I see one, then yeah, okay. But I'm still not really convinced, even with all the stuff that people say, and even these so-called smart people, their stories of what they've been through and what they've done and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know. But I am fascinated by the subject, don't get me wrong. I think my main fascination has got to be the moon though. The moon is just incredible. I don't believe that a full moon causes people to go cuckoo. I think that's a fallacy, because realistically the moon is always full. It's just that we cast a shadow on it. That's all. The moon don't change, it's just the position that the moon is in regard to the sun and us and what have you. And we just cast a shadow. So, you know, that's the reason why I just don't understand when people say, oh, full moons tonight, there's going to be right crazies. I mean, have they just made that as an excuse for stupidity or what? I don't know. I'll leave that to your capable hands. But the bit that does amaze me though is the fact that we have been up there, as in the human race has been up there, the Americans. A lot of scepticism between the fact that maybe they haven't and they faked it, and there are some compelling evidence to state the fact that maybe, but here's my take on that. There is a possibility that they staged certain images of the moon and this fake photos they got from there, but that was just to show the public and make it a little bit more interesting, and so that people were more enthusiastic so they could get more money for it. You see, I mean, a bit like PR, if you like, in a way, because if you can't sell it, nobody's interested in it, nobody wants to buy it, funding down the drain. Whereas the real landing and the footage and what have you could have been so piss poor that they had no choice but to create this fake kind of images and what have you to try and sell it. That's my take on it. The fact that they haven't, to say that they point blank haven't been, apparently you can actually, there's mirrors up there that they've left so you can fire lasers at it. There's also somebody got the telescope and you can see the rover tracks. So they have been up there. But what I don't understand is why they won't go back. That's the bit that fucks me off. Because if you're in the camp of, fuck it, they faked it, they never went, and they don't go back, that's more ammunition for that kind of thinking, isn't it? I mean, I would love the idea of today, in the technology that we've got, to go back. Why is it that they won't go back? I know that there's other groups that have gone up there and taking pictures or what have you of the moon and all that sort of thing, but why is there such a hush about certain things that they do find? Why do they have to cover this crap up? Why? What does it really matter? What difference does it make? What difference does it make if there are artificial structures on the moon? Who cares? Has it really bothered any of us? Has it changed our way of life? No. Are these structures still in use? Probably not. For the simple fact of the matter is, they're probably millions of years old, because the moon ain't far off as old as the Earth. Some people reckon that the moon is artificially constructed. Nah. I can't get on board with that one. Nah. But I will keep an open mind though. But I don't see the evidence to state that it's artificial. Right? Because if that's artificial, then the planet that we're on could be artificial. But I just, no. That then goes into the realm, well, if that's artificial, then this must be artificial. That means that's the reason why some people believe that the Earth is hollow, and nah. Now, granted, there may be deep caves, but it certainly doesn't say that the Earth, mean that the Earth is hollow. No. There can be deep caves, and they may go down a couple of miles, maybe even a half a dozen miles down, possibly. But that is as far as it's going to go. Because don't forget, the Earth's crust is somewhere in the region of what? 30, 40 miles thick. So, a fucking big chunk of rock that is in it. You know, that's massive. In the grand scheme of things, mind you, though, I mean, you think to yourself, well, 30, 40 miles thick? Yeah, it depends on where you are. Some places, even some of a little bit thinner than that, but that's pretty much what it is. But you think to yourself, what? Realistically, is that it? Well, yeah. That's the reason why we have volcanoes and volcanic eruptions, because of it being so thin. On the scheme of the fact that this is a planet. And the molten lava finds its way through fissures and stuff like that, creating lava tubes of superheated rock. I mean, don't forget the further down you go, the more heat there is there, the hotter it is. And whereas it's that, when it reaches up to the surface lava, it's more of a thick goop that flows quite quickly. And it can spit out chunks. But the further down you go, molten rock, it turns into, from a gooey to a bit more slushy to a very watery liquid that spins around and it's superheated, and you know, sort of. I mean, I'm not a geophysicist, and I just things I've picked up as you watch different documentary programs or whatever. But you know what I mean, though, don't you? You know what I mean? So, of course, when you have all of that inside the planet, how can it be hollow? Doesn't make sense. Yeah. Who's to say, right, if you want to really dive into that kind of realm of thinking, who's to say, right, beyond that super heated molten rock that's like a watery liquid, it's that thin and that, yeah. The big lump in the middle, which we think is this great big piece of ore of some description, cobalt or something, it is, I don't fucking know. It's dense, it's hard, it hasn't melted. So some of it's obviously keeping it solid. What's to say that can't be hollow? For argument's sake, maybe. I'm just, leaning towards the fact that who knows? We can't get down there, so we'll never fucking know anyway. But there's a thought for you. Something stupid to think about. Yeah, I don't mind. How about that? But now, seriously, I think we've had, through the years, enough explorers, enough scientists, and enough people that do realise that there are certain things that can't be challenged any other way. They have been tried and it's been defeated time and time again. So that's the reality that we live in. You're talking stupid. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it anyway. But when it comes to the moon, if it's a lovely clear night, beautiful, I would love to be able to have myself a nice powerful telescope and zoom in right at the surface of the moon, because it is fascinating. It's a fascinating rock, it really is. I think it's great. I really do. If there is these ancient structures up there that have been lost through time, and because the civilization that may have come and gone before we turned up, I mean, who's to know? Maybe they did conquer space travel all those millennia ago, but abandoned Earth for whatever reason and found somewhere better, maybe. I don't know. I mean, can you imagine that, though? Can you really get your head around that kind of concept? I always think about it, because it's fascinating how we are here. We are witnessing what is happening in front of our eyes, whichever part of the world we're in, We are able now to document it. Unfortunately, we're going to get those people who will twist shit and misrepresent what they see and try and palm it off as something completely different, either to be untoward or it'll be something genuine. I don't know why people decide that's a fucking fun thing to do. I don't get that. That's weird. Baffles me, that does. But that's the way life is, unfortunately. We live in this world where the court of public opinion is the one that rules the roost. And I think that's stupid. Fucking stupid. A bit like fucking political correctness has gone to the... Yeah, a good stir in the old shit box, that hasn't it? Fucking political correctness crap. It's gone fucking nuts. You think you've got freedom of speech? No, unfortunately you haven't. Because you have those fucking idiotic morons who will wah when you're trying to, if you say something in the wrong context, not on purpose, just your language, you're speaking, you're saying something. You can't say that, that's offensive. What's offensive? You're taking offence of that. I don't understand you. You can't do that now. That's offensive. That is now. You're not allowed to do that no more. Well, then you're policing speech, aren't you? You are turning words that mean nothing into something ridiculous, and you are policing the words that are coming out of people's mouths. And I find that disgusting. It's horrible. But this was predicted. Yeah, it was predicted all those years ago. But I think eventually it'll all calm down and people will realise, hang on a minute, we can't keep doing this is fucking stupid, and it'll get stopped. Maybe not in my lifetime, but it will eventually stop. Fucking using pronouns and all that sort of bollocks. I mean, what the fuck? How pathetic do you need to be to have that shit? I mean, come on. The new saying is, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will cause me to commit suicide. Ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, that's that bit. But that's just that. But can you imagine, right, going back to our previous digressing, that say for instance a few billion years ago, which would mean that this planet would be probably around about 2.5 billion years old. I would love to know what it was like back then, what the plant life would have been like, what the animal life would have been like. Would there be anything like sentient creatures that had evolved to a point of technology like the likes of ours and beyond, you know what I mean? Who's to know? It just amazes me that not a lot of people really speculate on that kind of possibility. They seem to think that we are the only sentient civilization that's ever been, and I don't get that. To me, that's closed-mindedness, that is. It really is closed-mindedness. Don't understand it. And it's naive to think that, right? But then again, that's you can probably boil that down to religion, to be fair, right? That'll be the stupid shit that has caused that, thinking that we're the middle of the universe and all that lot bullshit, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, that I can understand in that respect as to why they think that. But logic doesn't dictate that at all, does it? Not when you sit and really think about it. The small amount of time that we have had to evolve from what we were to what we are today, it's a drop in an ocean of time. Just a drop. And there you are. We got what we've got up to yet. and we're still improving on ourselves. So when you think about it, if you calculate further on in time, from the achievements that we've had at the moment, starting from when, I don't know, from when the wheel was invented, if you like, I don't fucking know, or even further back than that, when simple tools were made, like rock, would it be flint chisels and shit, like all that kind of stuff. When the first primitive piece of technology, because technology doesn't necessarily mean computers. Technology is stuff that helps human life or a civilization progress forward to the next level. I could have swore I went past a sign that says 40. I didn't know it's 40, that's right. 40 there. That's what I was wondering. But you know what I mean though, don't you? So, well, at least I hope you understand. You're getting the gist of it. Where, so you have a civilization that started off, first of all, they would use the limbs that they've got to pick berries maybe, and nuts or fruit off trees and all that kind of shit. And then one day they've managed to catch an animal, then they've got to figure out how they're going to eat this animal maybe, because they want to, you know, have the meat of it. And then they decide that, well, maybe if I use this will slice through the carcass. Like, I don't know, things evolve as they go along, and technologies grow from that. So from the earliest, a stick, right, a stick fashioned into a bit of a point to dig out bugs out of a rotten piece of tree. I mean, even I think gorillas even do that, and chimpanzees. It's still a modicum amount of technology to help improve. You do see this fucking great big truck, don't you? So that to me, it proves that from when we were starting to use tools and technology to improve our way of lives, the human race, it's sort of gone like a flat level across and then it's rocketed straight up like that, because obviously more and more progression. So you can, in that short amount of time, you can definitely imagine that there may well have been another civilization out there that did start off with the primitive stuff, using their fingers to do things first, then picking up something to help them, then fashioning something else to improve on that, and so on and so forth. And then the technology, as the time progresses and civilization grows, technology ramps up, because there's going to be a point in our civilization that means that we'll hit that threshold where there's just no further to go. Well, in the shorter period of time that we've had, right, if you really, really want to go down to the nuts and crannies of it all, you could say 1 million years, just 1 million years, and look at where we are now. You may think to yourself, that's a fucking long time. Well, it is, but when you've got 4.5 billion years, it's fuck all. It's the same principle. If you ask a billionaire what it's like compared to what a millionaire what it's like, you know what I mean? He can spend a couple of million, not worry about it. Whereas the millionaire will have to spend a couple of £100,000 and think to himself, well, if I ain't careful, I'm going to have no money left. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. There's only so far you can go. And maybe, however highly unlikely it is, doesn't matter. There's a slim possibility that maybe a civilization has gone through the pains of evolving and exploded to a point where, well, this planet no longer suffice, you know, they need to move on, And that's what they've done. You know what I mean? I love that idea though. It fascinates the shit out of me. That's why I keep going on about it. Because it's the possibility that maybe, just maybe, that some civilization out there that originated from Earth may be aliens, that we think they are alien, but this may have been their home at one point. Who's to say? We just don't know. Can you imagine that? Oh dear. For all we know, right? I know that there's theories and philosophers and people like that do speculate on the idea of wormhole travel. You know what I mean? Theologians, and they're thinking that maybe mathematics can say that can happen, and this, that, and the other, but that's mathematical solutions, string theories and chaos theories and all that sort of bulls that I have no clue about. But I must admit that one of the most exciting things that I found for me, which is you may find rather unusual, but the Higgs boson, right? I was actually hooked on the fascination of finding that when I was watching all the documentaries about this hunt for this mysterious atom, or whatever it is, or quirk, or whatever, this Higgs boson thing, and they found it. It came and went, but they found it. Yeah. I think it was at. This is a bit that confused me though, because I'm not a smart person, but I do take in some information, even though I don't really understand what it is. You know what I mean? They found it. I think it was something like at 128 GeV, right? I'm not sure what the GeV is. I think it's something like something electron volts, giga electron volts or something like that, I think it is. But like I say, it was just fascinating to watch and how exciting it was, than the CERN fucking Hadron Collider thing, imaging, whatever call it, that even people out there think that that's the gateway to the devil. For those people who think that, could you please exit the door behind you? I don't know. I mean, some people even think that machine is what's caused the Mandela effect. Have you ever heard of this Mandela effect? Right? What a load of crap. Again, like I say, it's the way that people perceive things. You know, they do. They perceive this stuff, and they believe that. I'm convinced that this was like that when I was younger. Well, yeah, advertising packaging does change through the years, but they're saying it never was like. Oh well, okay, then fair enough. And they always seem to bring up the Bernstein Bears. Oh well, yeah, okay. Never even heard of the fucking Bernstein Bears for start off, so I can't really have any comparison with that. So I don't know. I mean, there is that one that makes me smile every time when you come into the Mandela effect. Mandela effect is now has been named this reason because of the fact that apparently Mandela died in 1983, according to some. I might be wrong. It might be either 1983 or it might have been 1980 something else. But I think it was in the 80s. It was when he was in captivity. He was a prisoner, political prisoner, or whatever it was. And apparently there's people out there who swear blind that he died, and they had a funeral. It was all in the news. No, But in saying that though, right, and I can't remember what film this was on, but there was a film out there that portrayed the fact that Nelson Mandela had died in captivity. A film. Wasn't a news thing, it was a film. That's that one. That was where the Mandela effect comes into, the name of it anyway. The other famous one is the quote from Forrest Gump. We all know the quote, don't we? Right? Do you want me to tell you what the quote is from Forrest Gump? Alright then. You ready? Life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Now people out there go, no, it wasn't. It's life is like a box of chocolates. You know? Actually, no, it's not. Let me explain why. Right? It's all to do with the way that you remember things and when you hear them. Right? Forrest Gump is sat on this bus stop bench, right? Not park bench, a bus stop bench, and he's telling a story. And he's telling the story while he's eating a box of chocolates. And he offers the nurse that's sitting next to her, do you want them? And she says no. And this is when he then recalls what his mother told him. My mother used to say, life was like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to get. And then it cuts to the clip where he's all this the story of him being a child, and it comes to the scene when she's in bed. I think it's where she's not well, she's sick and she's dying, and she says and that's when Sally Field, and again another Mandela effect there because people think her name is Sally Fields, but it's Sally Field. She says life is like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to get. But people swear blind that it was Forrest that says it, when no, because then that would mean that he's telling the story in the wrong grammatical sense. He's talking about the past, not the present. And he's talking about the fact that it was somebody who told him this, not that he said it. So if you think about the way that the language is built up, you wouldn't say, life is like a box of chocolates, you're never going to get. My mum always used to tell me that. No, he would be saying it as he says it now. Life was like a box of chocolates because it's in the past. He's talking about what his mum was telling him before she died. No Mandela effect. It's just the way that you perceive things. It's the way that you hear them, and you associate that with that because it's such a famous quote that Forrest always said while he was talking about his mum. But you got the context wrong. Nothing to do with the Mandela effect. It isn't some supreme being somewhere has decided to rewrite it all or what have you. Total garbage. So when it comes to things like that, I take a notice. I just find it amusing, to be honest with you, more than anything. And that's as far as it is. So yeah, can you imagine? But if you want to step into the Mandela thing, if you do believe in that, there's only one real way that could actually happen, and that would then have to stem from time travel. It would have to be some time travel people out there that have decided that, well, we are going to change history, and first of all, we're going to now save Nelson Mandela, and he will become president or prime minister, whatever it was, when he gets freed. We are now so inept with fucking Bernstein Bears that we want to change the title, the spelling of the title, should I say, because we just don't like the fact it's got an A and E. We've got to change it. Why? What for? What Yeah, do you see my point? What purpose would it make? None. None at all. There's only one small purpose, I suppose, that you could say would mean that, okay, fair enough, is if you are a time traveller and you're trying to convince people that you are a time traveller, and you go, hang on a sec, you go back in time and you go, by the way mate, can you do me a favour and change that from an A to an E? and then come back and go, there, I told you. Well, fuck me. But they wouldn't know anyway. They wouldn't know. Because from that point onward, it would be just normal. See my point? Mandela effect. Ah! What a lot of rubbish. Absolute crap. Me personally, I think the fact that we may have time travellers, I could quite easily believe that, hands down, right? Not a problem. Easy. That's got more probability of being true than fucking aliens flying around our skies. Easy. Now, shall I get off here? What do you reckon? Shall I get off here? Take the cameras off? Or should we go down to Woodall? See if I can get off here. Well, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do it here. That's it. I'm going to end the video. That'll be it. I think I'm going to get off here. I'm going to park on the road and just take them off. Yeah, I know what I can do. I'm going to do that. I think we're done. End of. Aha! Yes, indeedy. That's it. End of. No more video. We finished. The conversation is over. There's no more to talk about. We can come to an end, and then we can just say tatty bye. Oop. See you later, alligator. Come on, dude. I'll get round you. Didn't realise it was a down there. I thought he went all the way up there. Mr. Van Driver don't care though, I've got my indicator on. No, don't care at all. I'm only joking. I ain't gonna bloody end the video just like I tell you what, I bet you a lot there would go, what already? Fucking hell. You can't do that. What's wrong with you people? Can't you take a joke? Ugh. Anyway, here we go. We're back. Back on the road again. Ah, screw it. I'll fucking leave them on. It's a nice evening, isn't it, really? I mean, it looks really pleasant. I'm tired though. It's knocking on a bit. It's 10 to 5. 10 to 5. It's a lot brighter, isn't it, now? Good grief. 10.5. I'm trying to think if there's any other different types of there's loads of so-called Mandela effects out there, but no real prominent ones. Oh, it's the other one in the Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. Luke, I'm your father. No, Luke. Or is it, no, I'm your father? Yeah, it's definitely a weird one, that one is. Ah, well, again, it's like, but why? And another thing that makes me laugh is, when it comes to that, is how do they connect the Mandela effect to the CERN? That one, I can't see the connection in that. I really can't. But I mean, I'm not a superstitious person. I don't believe in none of that nonsense. I'm not religious. I don't believe in any of that nonsense. Right? That's just ridiculous. So when they all come out with this, CERN's bad, it does this, it's open that, it's a gateway to this, and I'm like, carry on. If that's the way you want to be, you carry on. Just can't be. But it's worrying on the amount of people that actually do believe this kind of nonsense. Really? Don't get me wrong, it's entirely up to the individual, right? If they want to, then I'm happy for them, but don't try and convince me. Don't convince me, or try to, that the gates of hell are going to open up and swallow me. What are you talking about? Don't be stupid. If you don't do this, God will strike you down. Still waiting. Fuck all happened yet. Yeah. Nah. I've got no time for it. Ooh. There's a big plane in the sky. Looks like he's I would say he's on his way somewhere. It looks like he's going off. There is an airport round here somewhere, isn't there? I don't know where it is, but it must be close. There is one thing that I also find fascinating, and that's frequency numbers. Them are good. That's a good thing to think about, because when I found out that frequency number value, the Fibonacci sequence is somehow connected, I was quite amazed with that. Music is a frequency because you listen to it. It's an audible frequency. But music is also in a kind of a Fibonacci way as well, if I'm remembering right. The way that it goes on the scale of from, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, is it 9? Next one? 13, 57. You know, I don't know more, but it carries on. There's a certain way it goes. Prime numbers, that's what they are, the primes. But music can also work in that way. So you imagine, right, that when you listen to a frequency, and it's your favourite artist playing a song, it resonates this certain frequency that's appealing to you. You like it. Bear with me. I might make sense in it. Maybe. But when you come down to everything around us reverberates a frequency of some sort. there's frequency all around us. There's energy in that frequency that could be potentially tapped. Imagine if you could find the resonating frequency of plastic, right? And if you could play that frequency to plastic, it would then, the molecules of the plastic would come apart and the plastic into dust. I know that many years ago, talking about the CERN thing, right, a little bit of a side note on that one, that there was worried at one point that if they found that golden frequency of everything, right, you could mimic that frequency and it would literally unravel the fabric of the fucking universe. Done. How bonkers is that? But that's what some people reckon. Because everything that moves, it vibrates at a certain frequency rate. We might not be able to replicate that, not yet, but you know, there are certain frequencies that a human voice can do that can destable those the crystal wine glasses when an opera singer reaches that certain pitch, and because it's at that certain frequency, the glass starts to vibrate and it shatters. That's the frequency of that particular glass, and that's why it breaks. It vibrates and it ripples, its integrity is lost, and that's why it shatters. But that's only a small part of what kind of frequency, because to actually turn the frequency down to the glass back to its molecule structure, you'd have to find the frequency of the crystals that create the glass, the sand crystals, and then you would turn it into dust. It wouldn't shatter, it would just turn into dust. Frequency, sound, yeah. The audible frequency can go from 20 hertz? Yeah, 20 hertz up to somebody with some really good hearing, the average good hearing without any damage. I'd say around about between 14 and 18 kilohertz, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm almost certain, maybe. You'd have to check it, but I think it's around about that. Let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong or I'm near enough. But anyway, yeah, so that is only a small spectrum of sound that we can hear with these things that hang off the side of our head. Well, these actually are just a funnel to draw the sound in, the ear bits inside your head. Yeah. But there are frequencies out there that are making noises as we speak, but we'll never hear them. We know that they make a noise because of the wave pattern that they create when they vibrate. And when it vibrates, there's got to be a sound. There has to be a frequency to it. Can you imagine that? Trying to be able to harness that. You'd have to duplicate the sound, but then bring it down to an audio, because they've done that with certain things, haven't they? There was isn't there some sounds from the galaxy somewhere that they've recorded sound from there, but they've had to manipulate it so that it can be heard audibly by us. Its actual sound pattern is the same, it's just that they've brought it down to an audible level. And fuck, it sounds weird. I think Tyler done a little video on the noises of the ocean, the bleeps and the blurps of the ocean. I mean, The oceans make noises. It's weird. Trees themselves, they make noises. Quite a few actually. When you hear them swaying in the wind and the leaves make, I mean, that's the most calming noise in the world. Don't you really believe? If you're there and you're in a park somewhere, there's some lovely big trees and, you know, not the fern fucking stupid things. I'm on about the ones, the big leaves on the, like an oak or maybe or birch or something like that, and it's blowing in the wind. It's the most calming sound ever, that is, and it's beautiful. A bit like the ocean when it laps up on the beach, but more so the wind through the trees, I think, for me anyway. So, yeah, but I mean, they're making their own sounds themselves with the way the bark moves and creaks and that sort of thing. I think even though it's a bit of a, yeah, it's sci-fi, but I think Lucy, when she's looking at the tree and sees the roots and the way that electrical system was running through it, I thought that was a good representation of what it would look like as a sound. I think it was pretty cool. Oh, by the way, just in case you was wondering, this is a bit of a break. I am talking rubbish, just for those saying, oh, he's talking crap, he is. Told you, I do come out with some rubbish now and again. Some proper gumph. Now, I would like to get past this dude, but unfortunately there's a fucking great big string of traffic. Because it's going to start getting a bit heavy down here, and I want to be on that lane. If I can get round that lane, that is. Come on, people. Fucking stick your fucking foot down, will you? Get out the bloody road. I'm not in any worry at all, boy. I'm not now. I'm not impatient, not at all. No, I'm not. See this? Just it peeps it that little bit quicker when you put your foot on the accelerator. Not much, but a bit. Moving over. Good grief, I'm getting tired. Not that much. Tired. Let's have a blow through. It's getting warm. Why, but I can smell burning rubber. Weird. I can smell burning rubber. Weird. It's burning my ear, that is. I can feel the heat bouncing off my ear. I was making my ear hot. Oh dear. The reason why I was thinking about the frequency of things, I don't know. It's just fascinating to know that prime numbers is like a key to the frequency of all. I think, personally, I reckon it is. It's going to be one heck of a fucking number, but it'll be there. It really will. Numbers are going to be the saviour of our planet, because numbers will work out what to do with the fact that we are going to be running out of fossil fuel and gas and natural fuels like that, coals and what have you. We will eventually run out. That's inevitable if we don't find it. But the thing is, right, the numbers are there to find this trapped energy, right? The frequencies are out there. There's this kind of a coily thing that's been made that can draw energy. I don't know how true it is. I've only seen bits and bobs about it. But apparently it's there. But nobody seems to be interested. I think it's sort of like stems from the Tesla coil, I think. Mathematics. He found out that if you do it this way, use this type of frequency, yeah, there you go. I think. I mean, I don't know for sure. Yeah. I reckon he was onto something. I really do. Mr. Tesla himself. Yeah. I don't understand though if this is a bit of a weird one for you to think about. If people, so-called the powers that be, were so concerned about the earth itself and global warming crap and recycling this and whatever else, right? And the fact that the technology is there for sustainable clean energy, then why wouldn't they jump on that bandwagon? I know why. Because such energy like that would be free. And they don't want that shit, because it means that there'll be a shitload of money lost. Because whenever something is free, that means you're not buying it from somewhere else. It's true, isn't it? When you think about it. One of the most sought after technologies back in the day was cold fusion. I mean, we got fusion, well, fission they call it, ain't? Cold fusion, fission, whichever one is there, I don't know. One blows shit up, the one creates a lot of energy, electricity and whatever, and power. But cold, doing it cold, would then mean that you've got less going in and a shitload coming out. That to me makes a lot of sense. Why aren't people researching that shit? They probably are, but they're dragging their feet about it. Don't know. I don't understand it. If you're that concerned, why aren't you finding alternatives? Whenever you sort of like bring up the concept of free energy, nobody really wants to know. They don't really want to be paying attention to that kind of stuff, because nobody wants free. And I don't mean you or me. I'm on about the ones that are going to be losing the billions of dollars, pounds in that kind of respect. Because if it's free, they're getting nothing for it. Can you imagine what the world would be like if Nikola Tesla hadn't have been shunned away, bullied, discredited and all the rest of that crap that goes with it, and forced to disband and then eventually losing his life penniless and with whatever. Can you imagine what the world would be like if he was left to do his thing and people came on? I mean, I wouldn't say that 2018 would be a fucking darn sight different to what it is today. Oh yes. You think smartphones were smart? I mean, I reckon 2018, if he was still alive, wouldn't be smartphones, mate. No. There'd be implants of some sort. There'd be sort of integrated circuitry. There'd probably be AI would probably fucking be around. We'd be, it'd be Westworld type of thing, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? I reckon that would be a thing of now, without a doubt. Can you imagine that? Or even that game I'm playing at the moment, which is Detroit. The androids. I think personally that if he was backed by the right people and all of his inventions were encouraged instead of being hidden away because of the oil barons making their millions upon billions, I think personally society would be, and we might have even ended up with the likes of now driverless vehicles, but not on tarmac, on something completely different. You just don't know, do you? Possibilities are endless. Because if he could come up with shit with the technology that he had back then, imagine today. Fuck. I mean, even the fact that graphene may be the revolutionary thing that's coming next, to do with computers and chips and circuit boards and what have you. But it could have been a way of our life, and it could have been just a natural thing that we've come to accept in our way of life. Graphene controlled machinery, you know what I mean, and technology that's built by graphene. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, to be honest. And then my brain goes off on a tangent thinking, well, what if somewhere in the future, or in, say, could have been an alternative year 2018, because you just don't know. The premise that there may be multiple universes hasn't been disproven. Just throwing that one out there for you. Right? So, what is it that may have happened to cause the time of Nikola Tesla to no longer be able to put his inventions at the forefront of everything and get knocked down? Has there been some other maybe devious plot? I don't know. I just love coming up with these weird and wonderful ideas. You know what I mean? Oh dear. And yes, I am talking garbage. Just reminding those out there that have pulled me up on this without realising. But it's just things that pop in my head, and I like to think and have a share, and it doesn't matter how ridiculous it is. This is me talking to you about my ridiculous ideas and theories. Why not? It's like the possibility that maybe certain individuals through history who are potential either Earth savers or Earth destroyers in the technology or whatever they come up with. So at a certain point, time travel is invented and they've gone, right out, we've got to stop this because look what's happened. Right out, bunch of volunteers sending you back to whatever year. Bump that person off, so now that can't be done. I will always have that in my mind. Because it's not as daft as you think, really, is it? Not as daft as you think. Where are we at? Ooh, Junction 1. Just around the bend, then I will move over, get myself ready to get on the M1 South. I don't know what I fancy to eat, you know. I am trying to alleviate my fatness a little bit. I've had myself a breakfast wrap this morning. I might have a little something later. At least it keeps the calories down. I ain't that bothered a minute, you know what I mean? Anyway. I would like to have or create, invent, whatever. And I have mentioned this before, so sorry for those who have listened to this before, but hey, never mind, it's just something. You're watching this, it's the scenery, it's not really me waffling in it really, it's just the scenery you like. Anyway, inventing like a window. If you remember when Fringe was available, I think there was a device that was invented or created which could see into an alternative reality. Right? Crack this dimension window open, you could see. Well, similar to that, but I would like the idea of having, if you can't physically go back in time with yourself, but you can open a window to time and peer through it. That would be useful. I mean, I've already got several things that I would use that for. Right. First of all, I'd be winning the fucking lottery. Hands down. Lottery, won. Done. Won and done, yeah. So once I'd done that, then I'd be free to do as I please then, wouldn't I? I could do whatever I wanted. Because my main passion when it comes to being able to go back in time, I would like to be able to, because I physically can't go back unfortunately to save an individual. If I could at least go back and view what happens and then give the proof to whoever's needs it to say, right out, this is what happened. Yeah, I know you got to get through all that. Well, how the fuck did you know? You was there, but no. This is the thing now, right? You would have to have a detective who you could speak to and trust with this technology. But I would rather it be, instead of something that was handheld, I'd rather it be something that was sort of incorporated into me, so at least they can't nick it. They can probably kidnap me, I suppose, but you know what I mean. But you would definitely be putting yourself at risk, because I know the fact that when people disappear, you just, yeah. The people who've done it, they don't want to get caught. Or a device, instead of seeing a crime being committed, to finding the people that are missing. There's another one, another aspect of technology that I would like to have. Being able to detect and see where things have been moved to, in a sense. Follow it. An instinct, a feeling, maybe something that drives and pulls. That'd be cool. There was it the one where I think, I'm not 100% sure. Is it some sort of, oh, I don't know. It's somewhere in the States, right? There's this park, and it's years ago. A group of kids went up partying, and one girl disappeared. Has never been seen since. They have searched and they've searched and they've searched, and this is she's not some naive young kid who doesn't know fuck all. She's very aware of her surroundings. She knows the terrain and what have you. She knows how to do a thing, and she's just gone. Nobody's ever seen her since. I would like to have a bit of technology that could go to a scene, no matter how much time has passed, and be able to detect the motions of what actually happened back then, in either some sort of a ghosty, silhouette kind of animation, and we could follow it. Obviously you would have to pick the time. You've got to program the time for it to go back and then play that, not just to see it, but I don't know, but you know what I mean. I know I'm trying to figure out a way that it would be useful, but not to get it so that it would end up in the wrong hands, you know what I mean, because something like that could potentially be a serious weapon, right? Because it would be, if you think about it, okay? Let's say, for argument's sake, it was in the wrong hands. They could use it for committing crime. And if they did forget something, maybe they could alter that fact. I don't know. Is that possible? If you're just viewing it, maybe not. I don't know, but I don't know. Could it be used for malicious intent? I'm sure somebody will figure it out. Going back into a certain ER, there's one for you. Maybe they could go to somewhere and visually see a certain document, classified, read it. They can't necessarily take it with them, take a picture of it, you know what I mean, and things like that. That could be done. That could come to some harm, I suppose. Because certain places do move on, whether they be not That might be sort of like your industrial espionage. But companies relocate here and there. But say if there was a patent somewhere that somebody desperately wanted, this particular device could also be used for that, because you could then wind back to when this patent was introduced and watch the person, the clerk, whatever, do his thing with it, and you could take a picture of it, and then, you know, the schematics of something that's top secret, find out where they are, and then follow them. You see what I mean? That's what people would end up using. Something like, even though it's the invention that I would say, for me, if it was ever possible, I mean, don't forget this is all fiction, but if it was ever possible to create a device where you could use it as a viewing screen, punch in a date and a time, specific time, and just watch from then on, yeah, that could cause a lot of harm, that could, if it's in the wrong hands. That's the reason why when I say that I would love to have something like that, but you'd have to trust the person you share it with that they wouldn't use it for ill gain, because it could be used for something other than what the intention's for. It's just such a sad thing, isn't it, really? I know it can't save people, but it can certainly catch those that are responsible, without a doubt. That's just popped in my head. You could actually go and stand right opposite the grassy knoll. Yeah. I ain't going to say no more, that'll do that. That's as far as I'm going to go with that one. But you see what I mean, don't you? And you could watch for yourself. But the potential is there, isn't it? I mean, the potential is there. And out the windows again, have a blow through, because that sun is, yeah, bloody warm. The thing that gave me that idea, though, of being able to peer through some sort of device that could see into the past, has been one of those crime cases that I've watched. I mean, I have watched so many hours of unsolved mysteries and stuff like that, and there's always those one or two that stand out, where they say that no, it was accidental, no, it was a suicide. And for me, sitting there watching and seeing what they're saying, no, this is that, that's that, I'm going, are you fucking blind? You really think that this is a suicide? Where did you come to that conclusion? You know what I mean? So once and for all, this piece of gadget, I would go to the location, and then it'd be like holding a fucking tablet. That's what it'd be. And you could stand across the road, look like you're watching something on YouTube. You ain't. You're watching something from the past, and you could see for yourself, and witness the truth of what happens. And like I say, there's a couple of those unsolved mystery type of things that I've watched, and oh man, in certain, I mean, I hate to say this, but in certain states of America, right, they have good police forces, great police forces and fucking awesome police forces. But then you get the ones that are like, well, it might as well be a part-time job. I apologise about that, but that's, when I watch some of these, that's how it comes across. And I'd love to know what this dude's doing here, because he's really getting on my fucking wick. Can't get round him. So there was a truck that was coming down, he was getting a bit close, but he's starting to slow down. Oh, that's why, because he's fucking with his phone. I'll get round him. Why am I getting around him? Because I'm coasting. A coasting we will go, a coasting we will go. I'm Mario, a coasting we will go. Expo, give it to you. Gonna give it to you. Expo, give it to you. He's getting a bit slow, isn't he? Really? Around this fucking idiot now. Sorry, but I was all under the impression that that dude was whopping down here. I really was. I'm not going exactly lightning fast here. I'm 50. Well, according to my sat nav, it says 54, but the truck seems to disagree somehow. I don't know why. But it does. Right, let's get in then. Let Mr. White Scania come past, because he's been itching to get past for a while now. There's this one particular case that I think I've probably spoke about it before, but for those of you who hasn't gone back in the archive, here we go. Because normally when I get to like these kind of conversations, it's a good hour or so into the video. But young girl found dead up against some, or behind some dumpsters as they call them, and according to it, right, turns out that she committed suicide. Right. She committed suicide, did she? How the fuck did she get to the dumpsters then? Where's the car? Oh, we found a car. Some kids were joyriding in it. Really? Yeah. So where did they get the car then? Well, because we believe these kids who, well, they're not kids, they're grown fucking ass men, who'd said they found the car, right? And this is how, yeah, this is what a time machine would be useful for, right? Fucking terminating these fuckers before they was conceived. But they seen the girl, apparently, this is their story, they seen this young girl in the car, okay? And she was already dead. So instead of phoning the police and maybe the ambulance to do what they decided to take her corpse out of the car and just chuck it up against this wall where these dumpsters were. And straight away, my fucking hackles are up. I'm thinking, this is where a time machine would be definitely handy. I'd be finding the father of those fucking parents saying, could you put a Johnny on, please? Now this dude here now has just pulled straight in front of me again. Why? Fuck it off, stupid! I don't understand your logic. Anyway. So, the frustrating part of this was, right, these two individuals were found joyriding this young girl's car, and they tell this story that, like, we found her but she was already gone and we just placed them and all the rest of it. Okay. Well, then they have the car and they do this, they get their forensics on it and they test the car, check this, blah blah blah, and there's this bottle of cough syrup of some sort, I don't know what, mouthwash, I don't fucking know, something stupid, and they come to the conclusion that this bottle of stuff is what she committed suicide on. Yeah, that's, I'm like, really? The only thing I can say, if she did, then what did she do? Aspirate on the fucking stuff? Because that's the only thing I can think of. She drowned herself in it, because I certainly didn't get murderised by the fucking contents of its chemical composition, because there weren't a fucking enough. Not even close to enough. Anyway. Then you've got certain medical examiners that says, oh yes, there is enough on there, blah, if this circumstance met. But you speak to everybody else around there who knows the girl, then no, that doesn't make sense. It never happened. So there's your first bit of a gnarly bit of information, thinking so, well, you know, that don't ring true. But the reason why I'm more frustrated about that particular instance is the fact that as soon as they found that young girl and moved her out of the car, they, how can I put it, erased the story, or at least part of it, at that point in time, of how she ended up as she did. If she did commit suicide like people, certain individuals think she did. I don't believe so myself, but there you are. But because they had then continued on to take the vehicle, that means that they are now in it. They are now disrupting stuff inside it, moving things about, ferreting around in there, chucking stuff around. It's completely erased the events leading up to the point where she was in the car, supposedly committing the suicide. If the police would have found her then, and the medical people come down, and, you know, ambulance and all that sort of stuff, well then, great. You know, brilliant. If she had committed suicide, all that evidence would have pointed to that being true. But because it had been all altered and moved around, you can't, without a shadow of doubt, say that she committed suicide. Can't do. It's impossible. Because the whole area that they were in there, they've disrupted it all. It's all been moved, changed, manipulated. It tells the wrong story. So for me, my little gadget to look in the past, that'd be one of my first port of calls, that would, without a doubt. Sitting outside there and just watch it to see the events unfold and see how true it is. Did she actually commit suicide there? The other question as well that I had was, okay, so how did they get in the car? If she's in there, right, how do they know she was dead in the first place? Was them two slimy individuals intent on carjacking her anyway and stealing the car from her? So maybe they might have been wanting to cause her harm in the first place. Because unless you went up to the car, opened the car door, how would you know that she was dead? She might have been just sleeping. It's true, isn't it? That's a possibility. I don't know what you're doing, dude, but can you get over the fucking road? There's more than enough room. I just couldn't wrap my head around that. The circumstances of that individual's life and how it ended just doesn't. I can't see how they've connected dots. Oh, by the way, now she committed suicide. By drinking this small bottle of medicine. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I mean, they've had private investigators trying to figure out certain things as well, because obviously the parents, they just can't accept the fact that she committed suicide, and that's what the police say. And I'm along with them, because I don't believe it. Because there was also bits of information that came about that she had visited some sort of street party, and there was also this coffee shop that she was talking to an individual that as a sketch artist that had done this composite of this individual who they've never found, by the way. But the police reckon that never happened. That's strange, isn't it? Several people believe that he did. There's also an artist rendition of the person that was found, but they've just never found her. My gadget would be cool to find all the answers, wouldn't it? Oh, it'd be fucking great, wouldn't it? Oh. Yep, definitely a weird one, that. Because that's the questions I'll be asking. How did you get in the car? Because I mean, through all that investigation, that was never asked. How did you get in the car? How did you know that she'd passed away before you got in the car? Or did you go to the car and check it? Was it open? I mean, I would have thought, personally, I say it's my personal thoughts, but I don't know personally, should I say. But if an individual is going to pop themselves off, wouldn't they lock the doors? It's like those people who try and do that, what was it, the smoky thing? Carbon monoxide poisoning. And bump themselves off. That's a painful way to go, you know. But they do that shit. I mean, they lock the fucking doors. So she's going to bump herself off with a pathetic bottle of cough syrup. She's going to lock the doors. So that's the reason why I don't understand how these two so-called people knew that she was dead. How did they know? She could have just been unconscious asleep. They might have had a skinful and decided to park there to sleep it off. Because like I say, there was a party, there was a street party of some sort. So, you know, that's that. That's the reason why I'm not convinced that it was a suicide. It's all to do with the fact that, how did you know she was dead? How did you get in the car? Why did you approach the car in the first place? What was your intent? My little gadget would soon find out the truth. Whether it be, as the police said, it was a suicide and just these two slimy arseholes just didn't bother to phone the police and say, there's somebody dead in here, could you please send somebody? Any, you know, yeah, any right-minded human being would do, I suppose, but hey ho, I couldn't do that. As a matter of fact, I think if that was the case, if I found no matter who it was, I would phone them and I'd have to stay with them. As hard as it would be, I couldn't leave them on their own. It'd be too heartbreaking, that would be, to think that they've had to suffer like that. If it was a suicide, I don't agree with that at all anyway, but unfortunately people will find a way of going and off they go, like, you know. I don't agree with it, but as many times I'm thinking to myself, fucking hell, I wish I could fuck off, you know what I mean? But no, I would never do that. Just don't agree with it. I like life too much. My life might suck, but I love life. Life is beautiful. Trees, you know, flowers, birds, insects. It's all wonderful. Skies, clouds. I can't, honestly, I would love to be able to see it forever and a day. But to think that if she did, and that's the respect that she was given, or should I say the lack of respect that she was given, no, not nice. I couldn't do that. I mean, say, yeah, I'm stopping here, I won't move. Such a shame. Yeah, I don't know. But like I say, my little device would be a key for that one. There's another one that that bugged me as well. That my device would be a be-all and end-all answer to what actually happened. And this young guy, I can't remember her name now, but she was, I think she was a waitress at some bar, strip bar or something. I'm not sure now, I don't know. And she was out late. I think she'd finished a shift and went and apparently she'd done a lane change violation, which is what they get in America. And the police guy pulls her over and gives her a warning or something like that, and then I can't remember how long it was. It was like about an hour or so later. She's missing. Has gone. End of. There's no more. They find out that she'd drove a car up to this particular place where she's never been before, and decides to drive a car into the river. Well, I call bullshit straight away with that one. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but I'm looking at that one as a I'm like, so you're telling me, right, all this news, there's loads of news coverage about it over there is, not over here, and they're trying to convince the public that the search is ongoing, we haven't found it yet, blah blah blah. But it is looking that she may have drove herself into the river. Okay. No bother, if that's what you say. There's a guy that done a drive-through on this particular route to where she'd drove off, and to say that she got lost and drove and then ended up in the drink, nah, no thanks, don't believe it, not for a fucking minute. That just the biggest pile of cack ever. Drove off, committed. I mean, if you're going to commit suicide, there are certainly less painful ways of doing it, you know what I mean? But to drive off, because at the end of the day, fight or flight, right? The body will go into fight to live. It doesn't matter whether you want to die, you've got to put yourself in a position where you cannot fight. Even people who hang themselves, they fight because the body will fight. They won't just leave themselves to hang. They will claw at them and then eventually they'll pop off. I mean, people who jump off shit. I bet you, if you could have an audio of them flying off a building, but when they're on the way down there, they're going, fucking wish I never did this. But we never know, do we? I mean, it's just, I don't like the idea of making light of that shit, but you just never know, do you? You just never know. But anyway, that's beside the point. The point is that they're trying to convince everybody, and they're making up this evidence that, I know it sounds a bit making it up, but she drove off, went in the river, got swept away. Oh, okay. If that's how you want to play it, some dude who's got his own sonar thingamajig for searching underwater, especially that river. Apparently this particular river is like renowned for being shitty and murky and you can't see your hand in front of you. And even though the emergency service, they had hunted for it and never found it, this car, I think it was a couple of weeks later, this dude with his sonar thingamajig did. And I understand currents and how they change as under the river, and it pulls the silt of the bed with it and can snag up along whatever's in its way and cover it and what have you. But where it was and how much silt had actually gathered in it, how they didn't find it the first time round, I don't fucking know. But anyway, it was found, she was found, there you are. End of. Oh yeah, committed suicide, she drifts straight in the river. Boom. Oh, okay. No, I didn't like that scenario, and me personally, I called bullshit on that one. Sorry. I might be wrong. This is only my opinion, so don't take me for as truth, gospel, and fact. No, this is just my opinion on what I see, hand in front of me, the snippets that you can pick. I'm not going through evidence, but that's their fault for not revealing evidence that points to the point that she has done this on her own bat. See, the evidence that I would like to see that would prove that she drove into it, and I say drove with this emphasis, meaning the vehicle would be under power as it aims for the river and goes bladoosh. That would mean that there would be no damage on the underside of the vehicle. And it doesn't matter what had happened to it while it was in the water, because that damage would still be apparent if the vehicle was rolled down the jetty and off the edge of the concrete ledge, bottom of the fucking car damaged, water takes it away. Because it would then bunk, scrape, and away you go. Right? So you would have that initial impact, and you would definitely find that. We've got technology that could find that kind of damage. You'd have a straight line across the bottom, bump, scrape, in the water you go. And it doesn't matter if the water's up to the jetty and over it to a point. The weight of the vehicle is still going to drop in to and then it's going to scrape, and then the current will take it. But if it's driving under power, well, there you are. Then I could probably say, okay, then maybe. But even still, why was the window all the way down on such a cold night? Some say that she had a window down to have a cigarette. Well, I beg to differ on that one, because if it's really cold and you're running your engine to keep warm, you would have the window open a crack, you wouldn't have it all the way down. My theory of the reason why the window was all the way down is because somebody had approached her vehicle. And again, this is just my ideas, my theories, and my speculation, my conspiracy theories. There's no fact or anything like that involved. It's just an idea of what may have. And so I always try to emphasise that. Alright, so, but this is the thing: the car was found and the driver's window was open. Right, she was inside the car, unfortunately, in a certain position. I don't know, it didn't come across as being a suicidal kind of position. Again, it just didn't feel right to me. It was as if she was just there, not trying to scramble to get out. Even if that the car got swallowed up by the water, she would have still been able to get her seatbelt off, regardless of how she was panicking. She would still think eventually, even though it could have been up to here, eventually that belt would have come off, and she'd have been half if we got caught maybe hanging out the fucking window and drowned. Now to me that would say accident, not suicide. But she wasn't, she was still inside the vehicle. So I would love to know if they actually looked at the vehicles underneath just to make sure that it wasn't rolled down the jetty after whatever happened to her. I love these conspiracy theories. It's great, Ed. Oh dear. But that's just, you know, things that go through my mind. And when I look at, there's certain of these shows I've watched and I'm like, yeah, fucking without a doubt, you're guilty, dude. And that's just apparent within the first few minutes of watching it. But then you watch the story unfold and eventually it comes to, oh, so I was right then. Yeah. And yeah, it does make you wonder. It really does make you wonder. I think there's another frustrating one. These are all American ones, by the way. There's not the English ones, these American ones. There is some really sad ones, but they tend to get caught. Even after a while, they still get caught. We have got ones that have not been solved, but not as many. Because I don't really pay attention to them ones, you know what I mean? Because the solved ones, I mean, oh man, it's like, yeah, the mystery ones. I don't know whether it's because of the fact that we don't tend to what's the word? I don't want to make it seem that I'm making light of it, but it doesn't come across as though it's interesting, that you want to be involved and go, right, I want to solve this problem. Not to me anyway. But some of the ones that I have seen, there's been a couple there that do, oh, that's strange. There is one, an English one that I will say that dare I say, and that was the Jill Dando one. I mean, I just could not believe my eyes and my ears when I heard about that murder, and they're still going on about it today, because the guy that got convicted for it, who was then overturned, and even to this day certain individuals still believe that this particular person did it, but it's fucking obvious as the fucking blue sky that he didn't. Got fuck all to do with this poor old lad, and he never got compensated for it. He lost 10 years of his life, got the case got acquitted from it, never got compensation. And I find that disgusting behaviour. But when you think about it, if this guy has been proven that he didn't do it, and then that means that poor old Jill never been solved. And like some of the conspiracy theories out there, they say that it never will be solved because nobody wants it to be solved. I find that horrible. Absolutely horrible. Why? What the fuck did she do to deserve that? And there's a fair few others out there that have, missing kids that have disappeared, and like, well, we've got a theory, but we just can't fucking prove it. And the people that are responsible are fucking laughing. Oh. Yes. But my little gadget, would soon sort that out, mate. Every unsolved, every fucking mystery. My little gadget, stand there, 1999, January. Stand there outside the front door. Let's see if we can prove who it was who did it. Wouldn't get away with them, would they? No. And we would definitely know for sure who did it, whether it was the individual that got done for it or not. Oh, fucking would, honestly. I think the reason what would spur me on for that kind of thing is because I'd want to know. It's just frustrating. I want to know why, what for, how and when. And also, there's another one that was it's a bizarre one as far as I'm concerned. Well bizarre. How does somebody die in their own bedroom with nobody about? Conclusion: suicide. Well, the fucking scene don't say that at all. But there's an empty bottle of pills. And did she have these pills in her system? Yes, she did. Did she take them of her free will? Ah, well, that we can't speak to. Well, there you go then. Dear. And it's supposed to start cooling down as the evening goes on. It's fucking getting hotter. I am melting. As sad, frustrating, upsetting, and cruel to the family members are left behind of all the tragedies that happen in life. I think that, especially for the unsolved, if ever a kind of an invention, a technology could do that, and also you could find lost individuals as well. Yeah. Absolutely. But I definitely have to use it to win the lottery though, before anything else, because just in case it did get taken off me, at least I've won the lottery. Done. Because once you've won it, they can't take it off you. Yep. Oh well. I just have that niggle in the head when it comes to those kind of things though. I try to see what they've found and how they've gone about things and what have you. Because we do make mistakes. Some mistakes have cost people's lives. People have been convicted and ended up doing time for something they've never done. Thankfully it don't happen too much here, but it does happen other places. I don't get that. They all say that when you have this, you've got a jury and they're supposed to be neutral to all stuff and just convict on the facts alone. I think there are times where they don't convict on fact. They have a mindset and that's it, regardless. Doesn't matter how it looks. Even if that small percentage that seems like, well, do you know what? It does look like that this guy has actually been framed. They don't believe it. They just don't believe it. Sad day, isn't it? But my little gadget, if it was ever existed, oh yes. I don't think realistically it'd be a cracking lie detector, wouldn't it? You know, I wasn't there, weren't you? Watch this. I've just added a new feature to my gadget. My new feature would be a location, GPS location feature. So you wouldn't have to move. Hey, there's an idea. You wouldn't even have to move from your location. How about that? Just admiring the view. So in that case, instead of it being a mobile device, a bit like Deja Vu with Denzel Washington, where you could take this particular thing and you can see 4 days into the past. Maybe you could be stationary where you are and record what you see, and then anonymously send it to the authorities and let them decide what they want to do with it. Oh wow, now then we're talking. How about that? So from the comfort of my own home, right, I could pick a time, a location, right, let's pretend I know what I'm talking about. We'll have GPS coordinates, right, longitude, latitude, all that sort of shit, just so it looks posh, and then hit start, does a bit of a, and I'm going to incorporate those noises into it, and a window opens up and we are now viewing that point in time, that location in time, at that time. Oh! Hey? Fucking hell, the potentials that would have. Good grief. Yeah, that certainly would be awesome of awesome. If you think about it, right, if that's the case, and you could do it in that way, where you could be isolated as to where you are, but you could open this window anywhere in the world, and I mean anywhere, at any time. I wonder if it'd be possible to open a window to the future. Would that be feasible? or would it only be a past tense event that it would do? Because now we're on the realms of Minority Report, aren't we, where they use the cogs, the cognitives to see into the future. But that's a human element, isn't it? They see events. So I don't know, I mean, he could, I mean, that would be interesting, I suppose, if he could do either way. I just don't know. But that would be fascinating, though, I think, personally. What would you want to know the future of? I mean, you could say the lottery again, but it doesn't matter, because with the lottery you could let it play out, the numbers, and as soon as the numbers play out, as soon as that last ball pops, then you just write them down, and you know, no, it wouldn't work, would it? Because you'd have to be there physically. So ignore me, talking stupid. Now, but being the future one would be the one. But that makes sense. Yeah, you go into the future. Yeah, I'm twisting my own head off now. You'd look into the future, watch the numbers being written down, and then in your present time, you put the lottery on. I think I'd have to have one of those big jackpot ones, though. Yeah, definitely. I'd find one that I know that somebody's won the whole lot, so like 100+ million, and I'd have that one, and then it could be split between the two of us. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not greedy. I don't mind sharing. But yeah, I'd do that. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? That'd be cool. Because when you've got unlimited funds, well, then you could then use that unlimited funds to go off and search for the missing with your little gadget. Or you could sit in your living room and search for the missing all day, every day, not having to worry about going to work and wasting fucking 10, 12 hours of your day. Pick a subject, get in touch with them, if you want to do it that way, and say, oh yeah, I'm not going to tell you who I am, where I come from, or what I'm doing. You can probably guess by my accent that I'm not American, or I'm whatever, I'm English. But I am going to do something for you. I'm going to find out what happened to your son, your daughter, your uncle, your father, your husband, what have you. Yeah. Well, I won't be giving you the information to you. It will be handed to the authorities. And they will come and speak to you once they've got this information. And opens up a new avenue of inquiry, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Okay. Well, that looks fucked, doesn't it? We're all trying to get down there for some reason. What's going on down there? Weird. I hope we don't run into any shit like that. I wanna go home. I've had enough. I've got a fucking headache. I need food. Sort of. Some shit anyway. I decided, yes. I just don't know what I fancy. Well, I have got a headache though. Oh, fuck me, I have got a headache. The heat. The heat ain't helping. Unfortunately, there is no aircon in this bloody thing. It don't want to work. It blows warm air, that's as much as it fucking does. Warm air. Now, are you slowing down to get off at this junction, or are you just being a twat? You're just being a twonkit. Oh, that's no good, is it? Bish, bash, bosh. Fuck the front of that up. Just for you individuals there trying to get past that bit of a knock, you've got another bunch of shit to join once you get past it. It'll be like never-ending crap. It's fucking wank when this happens, isn't it? Oh man. Fucking soul destroying. I have no sympathy for people who ram at the back end of people, none whatsoever. In the same regard, I have no sympathy for people who do this stupid brake checking with wagons either. As a matter of fact, if they get bounced off the front and sent down a fucking ditch somewhere, they might as well just fucking stay there for me. You fools. Come on, Mr. BMW, shift your fucking shit. And there is no reason why these individuals here have decided to slow down I don't get that. Why is it that people slow down to overtake something? Why? I know why. It's because there is some individual that's actually behind the person and they go, well, I've slowed right the way down to their speed, I'm going to wait for a queue of traffic and then I'm going to put my indicator on. And then everybody's got to slow down to my speed so I can pull out. What I say to those individuals is, oh, fuck you, you skanky little bastard. If you're too fucking stupid to realise that the vehicle that you've been catching up on is just slower than you are, then you need to just go get yourself a bus pass. Phone for an Uber or a taxi. Who cares? I don't give a shit as long as you're not fucking driving. On the way up to York, and it was just before the fucking services, it was junction 30, M1. And as an HGV driver, when we're encroaching onto somebody who's slower than us, we get to a point where then we can overtake, and we're also obviously paying attention to what's alongside us. And I'm getting right up now towards the back of this vehicle, and this van's down here, right, and I want to get out, and he slows down, literally his back door's right on the front of my truck, and pulls into the gap. And I had no choice to swing the fucking truck over into fucking lane 2. And I'm bewildered now, because I'm looking behind me, and I've got at least 3/4 of a mile of fresh air. There was nothing behind me. And yet this individual decided to, with his van, to pull into the gap that I was leaving, so I wanted to overtake, and blocked me to try and overtake. Prick. I mean, those are the type of people that you don't want driving, because they are fools. Absolute, utter fools. I don't understand the logic. If you wanted to get off at junction 30, then you had a mile marker, a half-mile marker. At the 321, that's not the time to be fucking wanting to think about moving from that lane to this lane and then off up the slip road. No way. That's too late, that is. Especially if it's going to fucking interfere with another driver and could potentially cause a fucking fatal accident. You just don't do it. If there's nobody around, okay, I'll give you that. It's like they say, if a tree falls in a forest but there's nobody to hear it, does it actually make a sound? It's philosophy for you. But the thing is, if there's nobody around to interfere with, then they, you know, that's it. There's no harm, no foul. Doesn't matter then, does it? Because nobody else is involved in whatever you're doing. But when it puts other lives at danger, potential risk, then yes, you just don't fucking do it. I don't know why people do that. I mean, I can do some crackers stuff, right? But it's still within the rules. I might push a little bit and go around corners a little bit quicker than, but I'm still aware of what's around me. I don't take the piss. If I know that the action I'm about to take could inflict on somebody else's, you know, life in a way, if you like, I don't know, or could potentially cause them to have an accident, then I won't do it. Assess all the time, making sure I'm watching what's behind me, what's in front of me, what's the side of me. Always do it. I mean, when I'm soft, simple little manoeuvre of overtaking lorries, and not that we do it very often with our slow trucks, but I hope. We're overtaking. Sometimes when they flash me in, I check my mirrors and I'm like, really? It seems like I've only just barely gone past them. You know what I mean? Barely. So I always just continue on that a little bit more till I feel comfortable. And I don't like the idea of pulling in with about 3 foot from his window screen to my back door. I don't feel comfortable with that. I need a new one that was going to be soggy now. It's trying to irritate me. Oh dear. It's my top lip, it just keeps fucking sweating all the time. And when I have a shave, it's worse. It fucking pisses out when you're trying to shave. Fucking crap. We ain't got far. We ain't got far now. You know? I mean, for all I know, I could be waffling on like this and the battery might be dead on my voice recorder. I haven't looked. You never know. cameras on the back of the truck might be flat by now. That's a possibility. I mean, I don't think they're full. I think there's about... After I deleted a few files off the one camera, there was about 4.5 hours worth of videoing not left on it, so I got plenty of room. So yeah, that was all right. Each one of my cameras, you to use the GoPro app, you have to sync the Wi-Fi up, and it took me several attempts, but I finally remembered the password for my camera. Fucking hell. Oh. It's only the Wi-Fi password for the camera. That's all it is. It's just so you can access it on the GoPro app, which is crap really, because originally you didn't need that, but now for the GoPro app, not only do you have to sign in with the fucking Wi-Fi bollocks, instead of just connecting it to the Wi-Fi, it has to have a code. You have to log into their app, which is rubbish. Fucking why? It should just be an app you activate and then done. You never used to have to sign into fuck all. And it says you must download or install quick. I'm like, no I don't. What the fuck fucking shit for? I've looked at that there video editing crap and it's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. I'll stick to my Nero. Good old trusty Nero. When it fails, I know why. When it don't, it's a good video. Even if they are accommodating the the stupid again. Oh dear. Because on Nero Premium 2008, is it premium? No, platinum we call it, right? The whole thing. I buy the whole thing, I do. Apparently they've incorporated what they call vertical videoing, and it'll do vertical video editing, right? What that does, it eliminates the blur, the black bars beside the picture, and blurs it's the original image in this wider angle, and I fucking hate that. I hate it. It's horrible. I know that I might be going on. I do realise that sometimes I do go on about all sorts of shit that, you know, if it only frustrates me, you might not care a fuck. Nice of you to find your fucking right foot, dude. Yeah. But yeah, I find that Nero itself, it's alright, there's nothing wrong. There's a few things that if I could figure out a way of letting the people know that make it, I mean, I suppose I could go on the forum, I suppose, I don't know, but half the time they never listen to the fucking forum, do they? There is a couple of things I could do with having changed, which never used to happen on Nero 14 or 12 or 9. When you add an effect to the start of a video clip or the end of a video clip, which is within the series of video clips you're doing, it now will flash either to the far left or to the far right, and you've got to drag it back to the centre and carry on working on that section of the video. It's fucking frustrating every time it happens. It's time consuming. There's no need for it. When I place my transitions on the start of an image, the video clip, I'd like to put it on there, not have it go zip straight to the very end like that, so I've got to then drag it back. Why? It should stay where it is. There's no need for it to flash right to the very start or the end of the frigging window that you're using. There's no need for that. It's bloody ridiculous. Moving on over, I'm moving on over. But for the cost, it's not that bad. You can put up with it, but I do think that it could do with being altered. And as well, what I would like to see, which seems to have not changed since as long as I've used Nero, and that's the transition pack. They've been the same since I've known it, since I've used it, right? And it's about time they had some different types of transitions. Don't get me wrong, I've got the few that I use. I mean, I don't use all of them anyway, but there could be something different. Would be nice to see something different. Whatever. Smell again. I'd love to know where it's coming from. It just smells like rubber. I wonder if it might be this steering wheel. It's fucking nasty. Unless it's me and I'm the one who's melting. Smelling. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how you use this island correctly. You may not be able to see them very clearly, or I can. And that's how you position yourself to get round here. That's if you're a HGV driver, that is. You can use the inner lane of that thing, come around the inside, and you can just stay on there, on the outside lane, and do that. It's not a bother. It's quite easy enough. But I always do it that way. You know what, we ain't done that bad actually, coming from Driffield. We ain't done that bad at all. See if I can do something with this window screen if I've got this truck tomorrow, which I might well have. See if I can get it cleaned off a bit. It's going to take me probably up until somewhere around about 10 o'clock to drag all the fucking footage off these things now. Oh, fucking hell. Depending on how much what am I on? This is 2 hours, so there's, sorry, 2 hours, nearly 3 hours. 2 hours, 40 minutes by the looks of it, I ain't too sure. But let's just say we're up to 2, 4, 3, so there's almost 4 hours worth of footage on there. Almost. Because obviously the drive along prior to this, I think it was about an hour and a half, I think that was. So they're either going to be full, which is 64 gig, near enough, or not far away. And it normally takes to transfer the full lot off around about half an hour. You might think that's a long time, but these particular cards, they have a reasonably good read-write speed, and that's the reason why they can hold a good quality image. They're capable of capturing 4K. When you transfer them, the transfer rate is about 20. Is it 25? I think it is about 20, maybe 30 meg. But that's well fast. That is. I'll have to check when I get home. I'll shoot something like that. It's either 20 odd or 30 odd. I think it flashes between like 29 to 30 megabytes per second. Well, that is quick when you think about it. It's a little card. But when you've got 64 fucking gig, it takes a while, that does. But that is the first thing that I will do when I get in. Computer on, set the TV up, whatever, just turn the TV on and whatever, put the kettle on and then crack the cameras open and whoosh, straight on. I'm having a little problem though with my fucking hard drive. I've got a funny feeling. I got a feeling. There's my new hard drive that I've got inside the thingamajig, which is a fixed one. It keeps turning itself off, disconnecting. And you hear the computer do, you know that fucking noise it makes when the computer disconnects from it. And I'm like, oh fuck me. It does that, and I've had a bit of a search for it, and there's a couple of conflicting bits of info. Some say it's this, some say it's that. And so, in theory, this is how I look at what I've found, is that one, I'm going to have to strip the computer down completely, I mean the board empty of shit, clean it all off, check all the joints on the sockets that wouldn't, like the SATA sockets and whatever, make sure they ain't cracked or whatever, probably retouch them back up again, and then what's the other one I've got to do? Oh yeah, take the power unit out and change that for the bigger one. I mean, mine's not that bad, I mean it's alright. Turn that off. Fuck it. It's only blowing warm air in. While we're stationary. I've got a TX 850 Corsair power supply for my computer, right? Now that's a pretty big computer. It's saying that though, my hard drive content has tripled since I had all that shit anyway, so the internals which are running on this power supply, they should handle it. You'd have thought so. Well, I don't know. Because that was another reason. Maybe there's not enough power getting to it, it's just switching itself off. There's also the possibility that it might keep going into sleep mode. Don't know. It doesn't happen as a periodic, it's just infrequent, it just randomly does it now and again. I don't know, I'm a bit meh. I just don't know what to say about it. I mean, they do a 1,000 or 1,050 as well, so there's always that. Could always try that, but it's whether I could find one or not, a decent one. I know that Corsair do make some bloody good stuff, so it's weird. I can't see it being that though. I mean, I suppose there is another alternative. I could get an external case and do it that way, but I've run out of USB ports. And if you keep going off one and you branch off, you're bottlenecking the amount of data you can transfer. It's no good to me. I mean, the ones I've got at the moment, the cases I'm using, they're 3.0 USB. So they are capable of transferring large amounts of data in one go. I don't know, I'm a bit perplexed with that. Like I say, it doesn't happen all the time. It's just like last night it went boom. Like, oh fuck, it's gone off again. Then my computer was doing some weird and wonderful shit as well then. I'd restarted and it just wouldn't come on, the screen was blank. What the fuck's going on with this now? So then I left it and all of a sudden it came on and it got my screen, my wallpaper on my screen, my computer, a couple of icons at the bottom of the taskbar, but then the whole screen, there's no icons on there, it's empty. Then about 5 minutes later they all pop up like, hello, I'm here, like, what the fuck? Weird. I've got a funny feeling, you know, that it's either there's something ain't right with it somewhere. I mean, I've probably twiddled with something I shouldn't have been, to be fair, but if you don't mess, you'll never know. I did at one point decide to try to do a complete wipe, start from scratch, but then my computer went, no, sorry, but we can't do that. We're reverting back to your what's it, because something went wrong. Oh, what the fuck went wrong? Tell me. No. You are not privy to that information, I'm afraid. Not allowed. No. But I think I'm gonna have to at least consider the possibility that I might need a new setup. I do every now and again have a look to see how much the new motherboards are going for, because mine's a 58X. What does it say? X58, should I say? Sorry. UD3R or UD3? It might be 58A UD3R, I think. Motherboard, gigabyte. Oh, have some. And yeah, so it's not very fucking not very new, is it? It's reasonably old actually. It's quite yeah, it's an old one now. But it is a 1366 socket. I mean, there is that. And the next one up from that is the 2011. But the thing is, I don't understand why mine seems to struggle with shit. I don't get it. I've got a full bank of RAM, 24 gigs worth of it, but it just doesn't seem to use it, which is the bit that I don't get. When you look at the specs when the machine's running or doing whatever it's doing, it's like RAM usage 13%. What? That ain't even a fucking drop in the bucket. I don't get it. I would like to actually try to update the BIOS to the motherboard, because I'm on version 1. I'd like to see what it would like with number 2, with version 2, but I don't know. Say I don't know, I mean, I'm not confident enough to actually do that and say that it's going to work. Because there is the utility disk that you can use to actually then update the BIOS to version 2 or whatever. Because I'm just wondering if ever it was updated, would that, I mean, it's got to help somebody, it's got to improve on something, surely it has. Because they wouldn't have a BIOS update for just the fucking sake of updating it, would they? It would improve something, surely it does. But I'm just not confident enough to do it, because I know if it fucks up, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can still use the internet. I've got my laptop that I was given, which is now fully formed as a Windows 10, and that is a full 64 gigs worth of information. No more me cam. I'm surprised the middle one's still going. That means if that one's done, then at the back they're definitely done. Oh dear. Oh, that's going to take forever, that, isn't it? Good grief. I'm going back up there again. Yeah, well, I'll get it transferred. Windows coming down again. Doo-dah, doo-dah. this dude's going to end up going? What a complete cunt. Now, that's just bollocks, that is. I had a feeling that was where he was going to go. No, sorry, but I don't like that. I don't care if you disagree with me, but that is just bad driving. That's not the type of driver you want an HCV driver to do. He's driving more like a car driver. Stupid and irresponsible, that's what I think. Ooh, the battery light's flashing on my voice recorder. Will it last enough to get in and say tatty boy? We will soon find out. Oh, eh? Not bad, only 7 o'clock. I started around about 7:15 this morning, so yeah, right, isn't it? It'll do. That's it. We've landed. We're here.